Hi, I'm Heather from booktubes, and today is September indie romance releases. These are the ones that I personally am looking forward to, might actively pick up either in September or in a later month, and I'm interested in reading. Also, you do get a bonus video this week. This is not a return to my 3 video a week schedule. This is a 1 week thing, but you will get another video on Saturday, so 3 videos this week. All of the books are always listed in the description. If there is a link already available, that's also included in the description. And I will say this list is more white than normal. A lot of the BIPOC authors that I actively follow and am interested in do not have a September release. Alexandria House and Katrina Jackson might have a release, but they weren't sure yet if it will happen in September or not. So this list is not exclusively white, but it's pretty white. just a heads up. Okay, starting off on September 1st, Their Vicious Starling, which is Vicious Lost Boys number 3 by Nikki Crowe is coming out. That is today, the day that you are seeing the video. This is a Why Choose Peter Pan retelling, where Peter Pan is a many centuries old king of Neverland, and his lost boys are not lost boys, at least not the ones that we are actively involved with. You have a couple of fae princes, you have a very powerful being from another island, and then our main character, even though she is just turned 18, she's very experienced with sex and also with using sex to get what she wants and to make a better life for herself. So even though she falls into bed with these men that she's scared of, very quickly it feels like a choice that would make sense for her character. And so I really liked that option. I think that you can't just take an 18-year-old virgin and have her sleeping with 4 guys within 5 chapters. So I really liked that choice by the author. And I will say that there's probably some content warnings for mental health. All of the women in her family have basically lost their minds when they turn 18, and her mother can't really tell her much about it, but she's inflicted a lot of abuse in the hopes of shielding her from Peter Pan. Lots of magical things that were kind of horrific in the hopes that Peter Pan would not be able to get her. And she's always told her that Peter Pan is coming for her, and Winnie was just like, this is part of your delusion, but that part was accurate. So as someone who has also had mental health declines in my own family and am afraid of having to deal with that at some point in my life, I understand that fear, and it was not too much for me. Just kind of, so you have some idea of the level of that. But this is, I thought it was going to be the 3rd and final book, but there's actually going to be a 4th book, which will take place more in the fairy court, but will still be about these characters. So quite interested to see. Each book has ended on a cliffhanger. I've really enjoyed it. It's just very dramatic, soapy, dark light books and it's super like steamy, and I don't know. If you're there for the plot, you're probably not gonna have a great time, but if you're there for the vibes, you might really enjoy it. Then on the 2nd, one of my most anticipated releases of like the entire year is Nikki the Driver, which is Underboss Insurrection number 2 by Cate. This is another book in the same series as Run Posey Run, which up to this point has been a standalone. So is Mafia. I don't know how much of a psychopath we're getting, because Run Posey Run, he is a psychopath, and I don't think this guy is, but I also don't think he's a good guy. So I'm very curious to see. I really don't know what type of story she's going to tell for him. We did see him in the 1st book, but only in like 2 scenes. And I'm just very, very, very interested to know what story she's going to tell, and I cannot wait to read it. It's going to be awesome. I love Cate. Like, this is a stan account, so... Then we have a jump to the 13th, and that is Once Upon a Forbidden Desire, which is an anthology. Now, hear me out. I don't read anthologies. I know like Steph from Novelty Corner, she will often read each submission in the anthology. I don't do that. I only read the short story that is by the author that I'm interested in. That is the reason why I bought the anthology. But I'm also really bad at actually reading that short story. So I think I've read 1 of all the anthologies that I have pre-ordered. or bought, and not one anthology, one short story out of one anthology. So my track record is not great, but Elsie Winters, who is the author of Green-Eyed Monster, Leviathan's Song, and Magpies and Mayhem, there is a short story that is the merman's kiss in this anthology, and we saw a merman and his mate at the wedding in Magpies and Mayhem. So I'm like, is that you? So I am very excited because I love Elsie Winters' work, and her novella that I read previously, Green-Eyed Monster, is like one of my absolute top favorites. So anyways, I know she does novella as well, and I'm really curious to see what she does with this one. So I've had this pre-ordered for months, since like March, but I also am not confident. Okay, my cat is rubbing on the tripod. Anywho, I'm not confident that I will actually read it, but like in my mind, I'm like, yes, you will, because you want to read it, but history tells a different story. So we'll see, but I'm excited. Hi, Editing Heather here to tell you that I was putting my thumbnail together and realized I skipped a book. So on September 13th as well, Wild Wicked Obsession, which is Hyde series number 5 by Layla Frost, is coming out. I reread the first book of the series and did not love it as much as I thought I did, but I am looking forward to this. This is a strip club owner and someone who works in the bakery that is owned by the main character of the first book. I've enjoyed the series. It's very alpha, over the top, possessive, jealous, small town, romancy. So I'm looking forward to it. So there you go. And then on the 20th, Making the Match, which is Reverie number 4 by Kristen Ashley, is out. This is not an independent release. She did start this series independently, but it did get picked up by her publisher or another publisher or something. So if you have been reading the Reverie series, it all kind of starts with the suicide of a longtime family friend who also might have blown up some relationships, right? The main character of that book is an older celebrity, and she had gone divorced recently, like in the last year or two, because her longtime celebrity husband cheated on her. And he's a great dad, he's a great person. We don't really know why any of this happened, right? Other than the fact that we're getting this other love story. Well, this is his love story, and I don't know what she's gonna do with it. I do not know. So I am very interested. I am caught up on this series, which means I am allowed to buy it digitally. I have a rule that like I can't buy multiple books ahead. Like no can-do'sville. You have to actually read the books before you're allowed to buy more. So I'm caught up. And I am actually going to a cabin a couple of days after the release. So I am planning on reading this during my vacation. So I'm pretty excited about that. Then on the 22nd, Cruelly Bitten, which is Blood Alliance number 6 by Lexi C. Foss, is coming out. This is a dark dystopian paranormal. Vampire and lichens rule the world, and humans are just food and holes, pretty much. They don't have any rights. I started reading this so early on, like before anybody was talking about it. Love this series. Have not read the book before this one, and I did mention in August because there were conflicting dates, but it is coming out on the 22nd. Then on the 23rd, The Deal Dilemma by Meagan Brandy is coming out. We don't have a cover or a synopsis yet, but it's Brother's ex-best friend, which I think is more intriguing than Brother's best friend. Bad boy teaches good girl to take her virginity. There's a deal for her virginity. There's fake dating-ish and a possessive hothead hero. I really like Meagan Brandy's like popcorn drama books. There is usually like a dumb third act conflict, but I still like her books a lot. And I have not read one in a year, more than a year maybe. And I think this might be the one. This might be the one that I go ahead and pick up. Also on the 23rd, Sinful Desire, which is Mafia Misfits number 4 by Monique, is out. This is the Black Mafia, where it's like branches of all the different mafias. So you have Italian, Russian, Yakuza. I know all of those have been players. And this is the sister of the hero of the first book, which it's been hinted at throughout the books that there's stuff going on with her. She's hiding stuff from her family and we don't know what it is. So I'm very interested to see what she does with this main character. I think that she's going to be fascinating. Her heroines are like very kick butt, like they are top notch. I will say there's a lot of typos and stuff in this series. It does need a little bit better editing, but if you can get over that, I am really enjoying the stories and the couples themselves. Then on the 27th, Arkana by Runyx is out. This is a kind of prequel, although it's a bit unconnected, of Akana, which I read last year. My friend Gina at Romantic Deception on Instagram loves Akana and is so excited for Arkana. And this takes place a couple hundred years before, so it's dark academia with probably a little bit of paranormal elements, but mostly unexplained paranormal elements would be my guess. So gothic castle, that's an academy, dark academia, and it also takes place in the 1800s. So it is historical and I am looking forward to it. I think reading it in September or October is the perfect time of year for this book, so I'm pretty excited. Then on the 28th, Brutal Intentions. I'm sorry about my voice. I don't know what's happening. Brutal Intentions by Lilith Vincent is out. Lilith Vincent is another pen name of Brianna Hale. It's very dark. And so far she's written why choose mafia romances with this pen name, and they have been dark. In fact, I've just been scared to read Pageant and Crown. I still haven't done it. But this is a stepfather, stepdaughter, dubious consent, dark romance, and I'm curious to see what she does with it. I think that this is going to be a little bit similar to her book, The Black Fox, which is under her Brianna Hale pen name. That is also stepfather, daughter, but it's also a Zorro retelling. So I don't know how much of that is going to be kind of repurposed in here or how much darker this might be, but I do anticipate it being as dark as I might be able to enjoy and possibly past that. So just know, like, if you have similar limits to me, I'm nervous about this one, but I am also looking forward to it. I do want to see what she does with it. Then on the 30th, One Heart by Chase Verity is a queer paranormal book, and it is the love interest dies, but he comes back and then they have to figure out who his murderer is, and he is a still hot zombie. I love Chase Verity. I love their work. They write the Demon Next Door series, like big fan. So I think that this one sounds super interesting. I don't know the identities of the main couple or anything, but I know it's queer. All their books are queer. It's definitely the main character is queer and it's a queer relationship, but then you also kind of have the casual rep where, oh, and this side character, yes, and this one, yes, and oh, and your son has a boyfriend, and just stuff like that, and I love it. I do. And then lastly, also on the 30th, I have Bound by Trish Herrick. Probably should have asked how you pronounce that. And this is a male, female gargoyles BDSM book, and they're trying to solve a murder mystery where someone is using the knives of Jack the Ripper. This is the second book in the series, but it can be read as a standalone. I did go ahead and put the first book on my TBR, so I probably will start with that. But the author reached out to me to read an arc because I'm a fan of Evita Vice, and I was like, a fan of Evita Vice, you have my attention. Now, I will kind of say I am always a little bit hesitant when the author is like, if you like this other author, you'll like my work. I just find it more trustworthy from a reader, if that makes sense. I don't know anything about it. I'm not gonna read the arc because I'm not an arc reader, but I was like, well, tell me when the release is. And I am interested in putting it in my video, right? Because I really only read arcs from authors that I already know and love, and even then, I generally read the release. I don't usually ask for an arc or accept an arc. So just know that about me. So anyways, I don't know a whole lot about this, but I will say it does seem like the type of queer paranormal that I like. So it's on my radar, and now it's on yours too. So that's it. That's all the ones that I am actively looking forward to in September. Let me know if I missed any that you are just like, oh, I can't wait to read this. Let me know if you've read and loved any of these authors or have them on your TBR, whether it's this book or not. I'd love to know. Thanks so much for watching. Bye.